female Foreign Minister Hina Rabbani Khar, and I'm Bilawal Bhutto. As you're aware, following the 5-day war between India and Pakistan, the Prime Minister of Pakistan put together this delegation and gave us a mission. It's a mission to advocate for peace in the subcontinent and to engage the international community, all of whom played a role in the de-escalation and in the facilitation of the ceasefire, and then some countries played a role in the mediation of the ceasefire, to encourage them to continue to play the role so that we can achieve a permanent peace in South Asia. This, we believe, is the only way for us to address all issues. There's no military solution to the issue of Kashmir. There's no military solution to the issue of terrorism. There's no military solution to any of the problems that India and Pakistan have faced historically. As a result of this conflict, we've also keen to sound the alarm that there's a false sense of calm following this ceasefire. Those who are not aware of the details believe that the ceasefire is achieved, we're back to normal, and we're all safe now. Well, that's not the case. The reality is that we are all less safe today than we were at the start of this conflict. And the simple reason is that the threshold from full-blown war between two nuclear powers has been so drastically reduced that we've never been at this level in our history. As things stand today, if there's a terrorist attack anywhere, in India or India-occupied Kashmir, proof or no proof, that means war with Pakistan. In that situation, when we've just seen how quickly the escalation ladder rose just in 5 days, and at the conclusion of these 5 days, one of the final acts that India perpetrated was firing a BrahMos dual-use nuclear-capable missile into Pakistan. Now, in this particular case, that wasn't nuclear armed. But Pakistan has a very small window for us to decide, looking at an image, that this missile coming towards us that is capable of holding nuclear weapons, is it or is it not loaded? And how do we respond? The terms that both countries have set for the escalation ladder between ourselves is 1+. So whatever attack one side does to the other responds by +1. In a circumstance where the threshold of conflict has been so drastically lowered that any indigenous act of terrorism also would mean war with Pakistan. In a circumstance where the escalation ladder has so significantly increased, and just within the space of 5 days, what we're concerned about is that next time round the escalation ladder won't start from zero, it'll start from where we left off. And there may not be time for the international community to intervene and encourage a ceasefire. Finally, the weaponization of water. Pakistan and India have fought generation after generation over the issue of Kashmir, the unfinished agenda of partition, the pending issue of the UN Security Council. More recently, we fought over the issue of terrorism. Preceding this conflict, the Indian government announced that it was illegally violating the Indus Water Treaty and threatened to cut off the water supply for 240 million Pakistanis. Just the mere threat to cut off Pakistan's water is a violation of the UN Charter. This is our only source of water for our people to drink, for our agriculture and our agricultural economy to rely on. A threat to our water supply is an existential threat to Pakistan. It is a matter of our survival. It would provoke Pakistan, acting on this threat, would provoke Pakistan. We would consider it an act of war and have no choice. It is the absolute last thing we needed in the Himalayan region, which we refer to as the third pole. It's the largest collection of snow and ice anywhere in the world. This is the region where we should regionally be cooperating, internationally be cooperating to meet the challenge of climate change. Instead, we've set up a fault line and damned future generations of Pakistani and Indians to not only fight over Kashmir, to not only fight over terrorism, but now to, in perpetuity, to fight over water. Laid the foundations for the first water war between two nuclear-armed powers. It is in this context that Pakistan seeks your assistance. We're particularly pleased to be here in the European Union because, of course, the European Union is a consistent advocate, the last line of defense for the rules-based order, for international law, a strong advocate for climate, for access to water, and you've witnessed war on your continent. We set up this international rules-based order to ensure that future generations we save from the scourge of war. Pakistan believes we need a comprehensive dialogue with India, one in which we can talk about the root causes, be it the root cause of Kashmir, be it the root cause of terrorism, and one where we can address the issue of water. India has said no, no, no every step of the way. Following the terrorist attack in Indian-occupied Kashmir, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, publicly offered that Pakistan would be willing to be part of an international, impartial investigation into this terrorist attack. The Indians said no. Pakistan has always called for the United Nations, the UN Security Council, and that institution to be used to resolve our disputes, particularly Kashmir, which was on the agenda. It was taken to the United Nations by the Indian government. The Indians say no. Pakistan and the United States have spoken about mediation. The Indians say no. Pakistan has talked about bilateral comprehensive dialogue. The Indians say no. If we are to live in a world where we have reduced the threshold for conflict as drastically as we have, where we've increased the pace at which we rise on the escalation ladder in the manner that we have had, and if we are to be the only two nuclear states without any dispute resolution mechanism, the last dispute resolution mechanism we had is the Indus Water Treaty, and India says no to that too. I put it to you, it is not in the interest of the people of Pakistan, and indeed it is not in the interest of India, and it is not in the interest of the international community for us to maintain this status quo. There is a moral obligation for all international players to play their part, to encourage both sides to engage in a dialogue, to advance diplomacy. Diplomacy in the pursuit of peace should not be partisan. It should not be a partisan issue. The weaponization of water should not be a partisan issue. Peace cannot be a partisan issue. I look forward to answering all your questions. If you have a specific question for any member of my delegation, please refer to them. Otherwise, I'd be happy to respond. Thank you, Excellency.
For a comprehensive briefing. Now I would request my media fraternity if they have any question, but please I would request that raise your hand and ask one by one so that the delegation and the Excellency could respond to that. Who want to?
Yeah,
Mr. Frank.
sir.
Please give the mic to
Frank. I think I can hear you.
Hi. My name is Frank Schwalbe-Roth. I'm from Germany, and I'm one of the founders of the German Green Party, the first Green MP and the first Green member of the European Parliament. When I had less white hair, I had the honor to meet your mother already. Now it's grey, and I meet you. And Kashmir plays a certain role in my life, because by accident, Kashmiris contacted me when they opened the Kashmir office in Brussels. I come to my question, in a moment. It will be on India. And they said, Frank, you have such an experience and you're so nice. Please help us in Brussels. And for 8 years, I was special advisor to the Kashmir Center here in Brussels. We succeeded the question of mass graves, identification of dead people. We sent a delegation of members of parliament to Srinagar and to Muzaffarabad, resulting in a report from the most beautiful prison in the world.
Was this the delegation that the Indians didn't allow to enter?
No, they allowed. And we succeeded in Geneva when there was the human rights review process to have 182, I think it was, recommendations about China, what India should do better. This every 4-year report. And in this case, at that moment, I met Musharraf in your country. And I provoked him. I said, come on, no one understands you here in Brussels. Because even the king of Samoa was here, but never a president of Pakistan. He looked around and said, oh, yes, oh, apologies, it's true. And half a year later, he came. And we succeeded that in the European Parliament, nearly no one speaks of India as the largest democracy in the world. But we laid the ground that it is said India, the largest structural democracy, where the reality might be different. My question, after Trump, the EU looks all around the world for new friends, for new treaties with other parts of the world. One of the consequences is that we are flirting much more intensive with India. Therefore, my question, what do you think this means for Pakistan and for Kashmir, that the European Union, you say, you are wonderful, you are the last hope in a lot of fields. What does it mean for the conflict and for you? And then to make it difficult for you, because a lot of people here in Europe thought Polisario, you know, the conflict, the territory south of Morocco, where the European Union was always saying, it's not Morocco territory. And Spain, now France, have recognized the authority of Morocco over the Polisario territory. That means it is possible, if geopolitical reasons might force the EU to be more flirting with India, to change their attitude as well. And a last compliment to your staff and your embassy. I was here when the Iraqi foreign affairs minister was here. He came with 3 journalists, I came with 2 assistants, and that was all. And this is a Saturday, and nevertheless, the room is full, therefore congratulations for your staff here in Brussels. But the question, now apologies for my long intervention, is what does it mean, the flirting European Union for India?
Thank you. I'd first like to say thank you for your question. Pakistan is confident in our relationship with the European Union, and we're absolutely not jealous for your flirting that is ongoing with India and others. Is absolutely right. In fact, we're counting on this engagement. We're counting on yours and other Western countries' close ties to India to be able to speak to them as a friend and explain to them that the corner in which they're painting not only their own country but their entire region is not a tenable situation. It does not leave the citizens of India any more safe. It does not leave certainly the citizens of Pakistan any more safe, or the people of the international community. It's all the more important that the European Union and other countries engage, speak to India as a friend and convince them that this is the only path forward. As far as the engagement that you've had with India, the economic engagement that you're looking to have in the region. There's, for example, even, we just came from the UK, they've signed a trade deal with the Indian government. Pakistan has, like we have GSP Plus with Europe, there's also an arrangement that we have for trade with the United Kingdom. The US is currently in trade talks, both with India and Pakistan. So if we just look at it from the economic angle and your economic interest in an increasingly unpredictable economic climate, no matter how fantastic these trade deals will be, no matter how big and beautiful they may end up being bilaterally between the EU and India, the US and India, the UK and India, they'll only manage to achieve their full potential under 2 circumstances. One, if we have peace between India and Pakistan, so that we can restore trade between India and Pakistan that doesn't exist today, and we can restore transit trade, which was suspended as a result of this conflict. Otherwise, as fantastic as your economic negotiations may be with them, you may have come up with a great, fantastic economic opportunity for yourselves in India. It won't reach its true potential if we're not trading with one another. Secondly, if we don't have peace, and the threshold for conflict is so very low that at the drop of the hat we go to war, a war that can turn into a nuclear war. I put it to you, so what does it mean for the potential investments in India? What does it mean for the confidence of European and Western countries that are looking to invest in this part of the world and vice versa? So for your own self-interests, for your own economic interests, it makes sense for India and Pakistan to achieve peace.